Good evening. The Planning Commission meeting of May 4th, 2022 is called to order. The Planning Commission meeting is being broadcast live on Glendale TV, viewable on Spectrum Cable, Channel 6, and AT&T Uverse, Channel 99. Meetings are also streamed live in high definition on the city's webpage, glendaleca.gov/live. On youtube.com/myglendale and on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire devices using a free app called ScreenWeave and choosing Glendale TV from the menu. Meetings are also archived on the city website for viewing anytime at glendaleca.gov/agendas. For public comments and questions during the meeting, please call 818-937-8100. City staff will be submitting the questions and comments in real time to the appropriate person. Current Planning Commission agendas are available by visiting our website at www.glendaleca.gov. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Crochin?
Here.
Commissioner Fuentes?
Here.
Commissioner Manassian?
Here.
Commissioner Shabazian is absent, and Chair Lee?
Here. And reports regarding posting of agenda.
The agenda for the meeting of May 4th, 2022 of the Glendale Planning Commission was posted on April 27th, 2022 on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
The next item is approval of minutes. Approval of minutes from April 20th, 2022.
I'll move.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Support.
I'm sorry, and who made the second? Thank you. So in terms of a roll call, Chair Fuentes?
Yes.
Forgive me, Chair Fuentes. Commissioner Fuentes? Commissioner Crochin?
Yes.
Commissioner Manassian?
Yes.
And Chair Lee?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, so next item on the agenda is oral communication. Do we have any?
We have no callers for oral communication and no members in the audience present.
Okay, thank you. Next item is board, commission members' comments. Any comments? Okay, I see none. There's no old business, so we move on to the new business. Item A, 7A, general plan amendment for the downtown specific plan, case number PGPA 2205740, and zoning code text amendment, case number PZC 2205401.
Yes.
Mrs. Matales.
Yes, Chair Lee, members of the Planning Commission. My name is Vilia Zamataitis. I'm the principal planner here in the Planning Department. And what we are presenting to you this evening is a set of amendments to the downtown specific plan or amendments related to the downtown specific plan in the Glendale Municipal Code. These amendments are being presented for your recommendation. And again, the Planning Commission's charge is to review the proposed amendments and to make a recommendation to City Council whether or not the amendments should be approved. You are not making a decision this evening. You are clearly just making a recommendation as required by law. The amendments include a number of cleanups and clarifications that were initiated by City Council back in July 7th, 2020. These relate primarily to the urban design chapter of the DSP. There is an amendment proposed for building heights and floor areas that would allow for elevator shafts and stairs to exceed the height limit, and this would be consistent with other commercial and mixed-use and industrial zoning standards. There are also clarifications in the tall building chapter. There's a clarification that this section would apply only to taller buildings that are greater than 95 feet in height. There would be a consistency made that it be to 95 feet in height, and as opposed to the 85-foot referenced today in the DSP. We'd eliminate an obsolete reference and then also require that towers be stepped back to only for lots greater than 150 feet in overall length. Additional amendments include clarifications to the modulation of height section. Again, this would apply only to buildings less than 95 feet in height. So a taller building section would apply to those buildings greater than 95. The modulation height and the building separation section would apply to those projects that are less than 95 feet in height. There's also a clarification in the modulation of height section with regards to corner elements. And then there's also a correlation in the text under the building separation code. There was a reference both in an image versus a text, and we are just having a consistency that to make them in reference to a 250-foot threshold. Council also directed amendments to transitional massing. This would be the section that describes the massing between DSP projects and the adjacent R1250 projects along Central Avenue, and the clarification being that this section only applies to properties that are directly adjacent to the multifamily residential zone. There are clarifications to the corner treatment section in the DSP. Again, in this case, you would have a modulation in height in either direction. Currently, the DSP calls for modulation height that the corner element be 10 feet above the rest of the building. In this case, it would allow for corner elements to be whether in either direction, that is up above or down below a minimum of 10 feet height differential in either direction. There's also a clarification modification to the balcony section, which would allow for more creative design solutions, and then also specifies a minimum standard of 4 foot by 10 foot for all balconies, which would be consistent with the zoning code for others zoning districts as well. There were also 2 DSP amendments related to public space or publicly accessible open space, and also drive-throughs. Council requested that covenants be required for all publicly accessible open space for DSP projects. That would essentially require projects to make sure that their publicly accessible open space is maintained as open and accessible, has the required signage, and meets all of the intents and standards of the publicly accessible open space chapter. Council also discussed quite a bit in terms of drive-throughs in the DSP. And because the DSP is a very pedestrian-oriented, design-oriented policy, that council felt that drive-throughs are in conflict with that type of pedestrian-oriented design set of standards. So they initiated a prohibition against drive-throughs, any new drive-throughs. So the ones that are currently existing would be legal non-conforming and can remain as such, provided there are no changes. So there is that amendment proposed as well. As part of the review and cleanups, there were other miscellaneous updates that staff is recommending at this time. One would be to include veterinary offices. In all commercial and mixed-use zones, veterinary offices are permitted the same way medical offices or personal services or any type of general office uses. Currently, the DSP does not allow for veterinary offices, and so staff is recommending that this land use table be modified to allow them. And the second one would be to amend a portion in the GMC code under the mixed-use standards, or the mixed-use chapter, that is, to make it consistent with the setback standards in the DSP. So this would just be a clarification consistency amendment. That concludes all of the various amendments at this time in regards to the DSP. And in the DSP plan itself, the project is categorically exempt from a CEQA, from the California Environmental Quality Act, under section 15305, minor alterations in land use limitations, and also under section 15061B, subsections B3. So with that, staff's recommendation is that the Planning Commission recommend to City Council to adopt the proposed amendments to the DSP and the zoning code, and the project is scheduled to go back to City Council for adoption on May the 24th. That concludes staff's brief presentation. Obviously, your staff report went into greater detail, but I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions, Commissioners? So do we need to have a motion and support for this recommendation? So I'm ready.
So moved.
Okay, so we have a motion to recommend. Okay, we have a support. Roll call, please.
Did,
And apologies,
Mr. Chair, did you have any further discussion, given the motions on the table? Otherwise, you can
We're good.
go ahead and take a vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're okay.
So do we need to read this?
I can read it. I
Yeah.
have it right here.
please.
Moved by Commissioner Trakchin and seconded by Commissioner Manassian. After duly noticed public hearing of the Planning Commission to consider the proposed downtown-specific plan amendments generally related to miscellaneous text amendments PGPA 2205740 and proposed zoning code text amendment to sections 30.14.060 and 30.32.090, generally relating to setbacks and regulations for drive-throughs in the DSP, and based on the findings that the proposed actions are categorical exemption pursuant to Article 19, Section 15305, and Article 5, Section 15061 of the California Environmental Quality Act guidelines as set forth in the May 4th, 2022 staff report, the Planning Commission hereby recommends that the City Council adopt the proposed amendments to the downtown-specific plan and the proposed amendments to Title 30 of the Glendale Municipal Code 1995.
Thank
Do we
you,
have any telephone
Commissioner
call?
Proctor. So,
Do
is
we
there
have any
any
telephone
comments?
calls or something?
None? Would you like
Nobody
me
on
to
the
roll
line?
call?
Yeah, roll call, please.
Commissioner Fuentes,
Yes.
Commissioner Crochin,
Yes.
Commissioner Manassian,
Yes.
and Chair Lee.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes 4-0.
And I think there's a second part to this.
Actually, both ordinances were wrapped up into one motion.
Oh,
So
it was,
that's
okay,
it.
all right. Okay, so then, moving on to the next item, Community Development Department updates.
we have none at this time.
Okay, so anybody
Move to adjourn?
move to adjourn? So adjourn.
Favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay.
We waited longer than the minute.